So, welcome back, everyone. In this session, we will do the seismic analysis. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. Me- I think it is visible to everyone. So, let's start. First thing, we will learn how many types of seismic analysis we can do through the Statpro software. So, mainly there are two types of seismic analysis. First one, your static analysis, and second one is your dynamic analysis. Okay, so under the static analysis we have different methods like relay frequency method, eigen solution method. Okay, and under the dynamic analysis we have the response spectrum method and time history analysis method. Okay, so I will start with the static analysis methods. So under the static analysis method, there is also two methods, two differentiations. First one is to calculate the frequency of the structure, and second one calculate the mode shape of the structure. Mode shape of the structure obtained by these frequencies. So first method will I will explain with the relay method. So through the relay method we will calculate the natural frequency of the building, and then after, due to these natural frequencies, we will see the mode shape of the structures. And when I will complete these two topics, then after we will do the response spectrum analysis. So let's start. So, so first I'm going to do the relay. I'm going to calculate the natural frequency of the building through the relay method. Okay. So I have to explain the relay wave also for this. So your relay wave is a seismic surface view. Okay, and it will it cause the ground to shake in the elliptical motion. Okay, that means through the relay wave is a seismic surface wave which will be which cause the ground to shake in the elliptical motion with the no transverse or perpendicular direction. That means its direction of this view will be along x and z axis only. That's why we will calculate it along the x and z direction only, not along the y direction, because this type of view will work will move only in the along x or z direction. So I can show you the shape of this relay wave also. So here you can see the direction of this shapes. Okay, this is will be the direction of the relay view. So for this structure, for to see the building response, first thing I will create a structure. Here to calculate this type of frequency, we will create a structure of 16-meter height and width, going to create through the frame modes. Come to the bay frame. I'm just going to create a structure of 16-meter, but the length of 4-meter and width of 5-meter here. So I will change the length value to the 4-meter only. That means for a very small structure, width is 5-meter and height is 16. Division along the length is only 1. That means distance between the one. But along the height, going to create it 4 divisions. So you can see a structure like this. Now I will transfer it. Here, going to define the properties for the beam. Going to create a rectangular of zero point 0.4 by 0.3 meter, and for the column zero point 0.4 by zero point 0.4. Okay. Now assign this value. This will be along y. Okay, so come to the loading now. So for this, to calculate the building frequency and eigenvalue extraction, we don't need to give the definition. We will use the definition to see the building response due to the these load cases, and for the response spectrum analysis, we will give the definition. So here, don't need to give the definition here. So you can directly add these load cases through the load case details also. So come to the load case detail and click on the add. Loading type will be none, and just provide it that it is the relay method, and going to define it for the x-axis. So I will name it eqx, and next eqz. So under these earthquake load cases, we have to add the structure's mass through the self weight command. Okay, so here it is along the direction x. That's why the mass of the building will work along the direction x, and factor should be 1 here, because it is not the dead load. That if it is a dead load, in that condition we will use the self weight along the y axis and the factor will be -1, but here it is the mass, so don't need the direction. You just put the factor value 1. And same under the earthquake load, we have to add the mass due to the other materials like floor and these. So we will use the floor load here to assign this. So this will be also along the global x direction, and if it is 3 kilonewton per meter or 3.75, it will depend upon the your, if it is a M20 grade, in that condition, and the floor thickness is, I'm considering the 0.15, then it will be 3 kilonewton. So you have to put the value 3 here. Just put the positive value because it is the mass of the floor. Okay, not the weight. So put the pressure value to 3 kilonewton, and the direction will be 0 to 16, because the height of the structure is up to the 16 meter. Then after here, under the frequency, we have relay frequency, and the second one is the model calculations. So first I'm doing the relay frequency, calculating the relay frequency. So I use the relay frequency option and click on the add. Now assign the self weight to the structure. So the assign to view option. Same, just create the self weight y range, that is the floor, and calculate the relay frequency for the other direction also. So self weight, this time self weight will be along the z. Come to the floor load, again it will be 3 kilonewton, but this time it will be along global z direction, and the y range is again 0 to 16. Assign it to the view. Let's add the calculate frequency relay. One thing is missing. Go to the frequency and add the relay frequency for the stacks and also. Now run the analysis. So come to the result part. So in the result, you will see the total apply load and each thing. Here we have to find out the natural frequency of the building. So I will search for the natural frequency. So you can see it through the relay frequency method output. So you have to read it very carefully, or you can directly search it also. So let me say it. Yeah. So here you will get the relay frequency for the loading. So for the load case one, you are seeing it is 1.49668 cps, that is the cycle per second. Okay, and due to the this load, due to the this view along the which is moving, trending in the direction x, due to this the maximum displacement along the x-axis is 14.14673 centimeter at a joint number 10. Okay, and through this frequency even you can calculate the time period also. So it will be just it is inversely proportional, that's why to calculate the time period it will be 1 divided by 1.49. So you will get it approximate 0.68 something. Okay, so that will be the time period of the that relay view. Okay, so these two things is very important to calculate because this natural frequency will play a vital role to calculate the lateral forces and these things, and you have to calculate that lateral forces everything manually also. Okay, through the manual also. That means through the stat pro you will get a few data that will help you to calculate the lateral forces. But if you want to see the effect of the lateral forces on the building, you can also check it through the story drift. Okay, so I will, so when I will do a static analysis, then I will show you this also. So that is the procedure of calculating the relay frequency. Same thing, uh, same we can calculate the model shape also through the model shape method. So how we will do it? So first thing, I will just delete these things. Let me before deleting this, I just want to show you the post processing also. So what will be the structure's response due to this? So you are seeing the displacement of sun through the animation. You can see the deflection and section displacement also. So you can see the vibration here due to these seismic waves. Now I am going to create the mode shape of the structure. So for the mode shape, I have to change the loading. So through the utilities menu, I will delete few steps. Utility menus, come to the command file. I will change the load case details and output from here. So let me change it. Just delete it up to the load case, because after the support we will define the load case again. So just delete it and save it. Now close it. So now you can see loading will be removed. So let's, yeah, it's better to recreate the structure, but it will take too much time. That's why I am doing this in my the same project. So now you can see the load case has been removed, but you can see the properties and support is already there. If I delete the support, then you can see the support will be also removed. So now come to the loading again. This time I will do I will see the structure's response due to these frequencies. Okay. So for this we will do the eigenvalue. We will analyze it for the eigenvalue extraction method. So for this, come to the load case detail, and this is the response of the structure due to these frequencies. That means your structure will respond in each direction. That will be x, y, and z. So here, when we add the load case, then we have to add the mass of the structure in all the direction. That means along the x, y, z each direction, because this will be the structure's response, not the natural frequencies, not the mass of the structure due to the natural frequency. Okay, so it will be along x-axis, then y-axis, then after along the z-axis. So this is the self weight and assign it so to the view. So this is the mass of the structure. That's why I put the positive value. Then I will add the floor load also in this load case. Floor load along the global x, global y, and global z, all three dimensions. So first select it for the global x, then for the global y, and for the global z. It is the response of the building. That's why I am adding it in the all three directions. Okay. And one more thing, other view like p view maybe works in all three directions, can move in the all three directions. That's why we have to consider it for the all three directions. Now next thing will be add the model shape calculation command through the frequency. So here you will see the model calculation and click on add. Now to see the mode shape default, the software will add 6 mode shape. But if you want to change the number of mode shape, basically this mode shape are the response of the structure at different intervals. That means this mode shape will create number of time period where you have to see the structure's response. Okay, if I don't add any cutoff mode shape value, then software will calculate it for the default value, that will be 6. So how can we do it? Just go to the analysis and design, go to the analysis command. Let me check one more thing before doing anything. Let me check. Yeah, so I just assign the self weight. Okay, that's good. Now come to the analysis command, add all, then run the analysis here. So come to the output. You can see in the output, so here in this output we didn't get any mode shape. That means we have to add the mode shape command manually. You will get it in the miscellaneous command. Under the miscellaneous command you have the cutoff mode shape. You have to add this cutoff mode shape value. Default it is 6. You can change it also onto it. I'm not going to change it. I'm just want to see it for the 6 different mode shapes. So just click on the OK. Yes. Now perform it one more time. Now, now we are able to see the eigen solution and mass participation factor also. So come to the eigen solution. So under the eigen solution, we can see the 6 different mode shape, and these are basically the 6 different CPS, that is a cycle per second. So at the mode say at mode shape 1 we have the CPS value 1.408, and the period will be just 1 by 1.48. That means it will be 0.7103, and this is the frequency value at different intervals. And due to this, what will be the mode shape, you can see it in the post processing also. Now come to the mass participation. That means how many percent of the building was participating during the different mode shapes. How much mass of the building. So here you can see at the mode shape 1, almost 82% part was participating in the seismic, and it was approximate 82.64 along the z axis. Okay, so that is the procedure. At a different time intervals you can see the different type of mass participation values. So to see the mode shape we have to use the post processing option. So under the post processing option, here you can see the displacement is all is clearly visible. You can see here when I zoom it, this black line is showing the structure's actual position, and this green line is showing its displacement structures. Okay, and it is the displacement due to the load case one. I just only applied the load case one only here. Now come to the mode shape. So click on the mode shape here. So basically mode shape will show you the structure's response if the structure is allowed to move freely due to the applied due to the seismic wave. Okay, so if it is, so you can see here the mode shape 1, it is along the x direction. You can see the mode shape 2 also here. Then mode shape 3, it is it is in the rotational direction. So mode 1 and 2 was in the translational direction, movement of the structure in the translation direction. So if you want to see the animation of the structures, you can see the animation of the mode shape also. So here this is the mode shape, it is along the z axis. Come to the mode shape 2. Now it is very clearly in which direction the mode shape are working. So mode shape 1 is working along the z axis. Okay, let me pen the analytical modeling again. Come to the output file, design, sorry, utilities menu. And then analysis output. Come to the mass participation. So mode shape 1 was along the z-axis. You can see the value is along the z-axis. Mode shape 2 is along the x-axis, 83.01. Now check it in the post processing. Yeah. Yeah, so go to the post processing and come to the mode shape, animation of the mode shapes. So mode 1 is along the z-axis, mode 2 is along the x, mode 3 is the rotational motion. You can see it. So this mode shape will, that is the response of structure due to the frequencies. Now, if you want to check the if building is safe or not, in that condition we have to apply the load cases on the building as a lateral load cases. So for this we have to give the definitions first. Let me check one thing. So come to the analytical modeling and analysis and design under the post processing analysis. If we give the story drift check, let me check it 0.004 and let me analyze it. go to the output. Let's see the structure response. So here you are seeing at the level 2 our structure is getting fail. That means this structure will not bear the lateral load cases due to the seismic wave. Okay, so in that condition, to overcome this problem, we have to increase the structure's strength by increasing the reinforcement or in ठीक है, or by increasing the reinforcement or increasing the section size. Okay, so due to this we can change it. So let me check. And for now I'm just going to increase the section size to the 0.5 by 0.5 something. Here for this structure I applied the maximum values, so that this is the main purpose is getting. So let's see it. Let me analyze it one more time. That means we have to provide this value. We have to increase the section size one by one. Then after we will be able to see. You are setting it is still getting failed. Let me check the values one more time. 104, yeah, okay. Or just in case few section size, also the leg size of the beam also, or we have to apply the floor diaphragm also, because we use the floor diaphragm to provide the strength to the structure to avoid the lateral movements. So this floor diaphragm basically works on a concept that all the floors will be tied. That means floor diaphragm will apply a virtual plate here that will tie all the corners. That means all these four corners will only act towards the towards a single displacement value. That means if we apply the directly load cases, then if we apply the lateral load cases directly on these node cases, so maybe the node 1, node 2, node 3, and node 4 will act in different directions. But if we apply the floor load here, floor diaphragm here, then it will only take movement in single direction. So to avoid this uh, failure, we have to give the floor diaphragm also. Okay, after giving this floor diaphragm, if it is still getting fail, then we have to change the size also. Okay, so providing the flow diaphragm will take too much time. That means or I can share a project also of flow diaphragms with you after this session, or I can explain it here also. But now defining the floor diaphragm, because giving the floor diaphragm direction will be take place only before applying the load cases. Here I already defined the load cases. That means if I add the floor load here, then still it will not work. Then we have to change it to the utilities and all. That means it will take too much time to explain other processes also. Okay, so you can do it in your practice session also. I will provide this data to you to do the analysis. Then there you can provide the flow diaphragm. So how can you provide it? Just see it. Let's see. So come to the properties. Under the properties, here this is the specification menu, and here you will get the specification menu here also. Come to the beam option. Now, for the floor diaphragm, we have to use the node option. So here we will get the floor diaphragm option. You at the height of 4 meter here will be your floor diaphragm 1. So you have to provide the range here. That is the height of the floor, that is the 4 meter. Then click on the add. Then after, just assign this value through the node cursor. Then assign it to the selected nodes. Okay, but you can only use these values when only before the applying load cases. That's why I'm not able to edit here. Yeah. Or you can select the node from here also by giving the define flow range. The flow range is, let me add it. It is 0 to 0, or you can directly, yeah, so we can use the select node option here. So it should be assigned to the nodes, then assign it to the selected node here. Okay, so the floor is created at a height of 4 meter. Same, just go to the node again. This time we have to, this will be your diaphragm number 2, height will be 4, then after it will be 8, and select the define floor and select the option select node option. Okay, then click on the add, then after select the node at a height of 8 meter from the front view, then click on assign to the selected node. Same, just click create the next node. So this will be the procedure of creating the flow node, but please remember you have to create the flow runes only before the applying load cases. And if you can even change the positions through the utilities also, that means you can change the number of step position through the command file also. So go to the command file, you can see here we have floor load. So just select the floor load from here, sorry, floor diaphragm, here it is, and cut it. Yeah, so we are getting it just before the load cases, so I think it will not give you any problem. So let's see. Come to the specification node. Okay, next flow diaphragm, that will be a 3 at a height of 12 meter. Then through the node cursor and assign it to the selected node. Then next flow diaphragm number 4 at a height of, it will be at a height of 16 meter. Define flow range to the nodes option and assign it to the selected node. There are total 4 diaphragm. Now here post analysis command, and with the pre analysis command also, come to the define from here. Let's see. Here the storage stiffness check. Okay, yeah. Diasia diaphragm. Okay, let me analyze it, and most probably we will get the error here. Yeah, I just get it. Now see the error type. Obviously we have to change many things to calculate it, like we have to provide the reference load cases and all things. That's why I will explain all these things into a project that I will complete in the response spectrum analysis. That's why I was trying to skip it here, but I just got an error. That's why so I was trying to sort out it, but I have to do all these things in the response spectrum. So when I will do the response spectrum, I will show you one example how to provide this flow diaphragm, and then how to check the story drift and all things in that. Okay, so I will cover up this topic in the response spectrum. Okay, because giving these values has a specific step position. Okay, that's why we have to, either I will just delete everything, then we have to open a new file, and we have to follow the all steps one by one. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the analysis of the structure for the static method. So I will open a new file here. Okay, so I am going to create one wave frame. Length I'm going to change it to the 20, and the height I want to analyze it for a 13.8 meter height, and the width is also 15 meter. Okay, so along the length going to create the 4 divisions, and the height is also 4 divisions, but along the width going to create 3 divisions. Okay, and the distance between the length and all is same, so I will not change it. Okay, but along the height, the first floor height is at a 4.2 meter, so I will change it to the 4.2. Then next was at a height of 3.2. That means the remaining are at the same height value. So it will be 3.2, 3.2 for all. That means sum of these value will be 13.8. Okay. Now transfer this model. So here object is created, going to provide the properties for the beam. I'm going to provide it 0.3 by 0.4, and for the column 0.3 by 0.45. Then assign these values for the beam. Select beam pilot to X and Z. And for this we have to select the beam pilot to the Y axis. Next thing will be your support. Now here we have to give the definition first, because this I'm going to analyze the structure's response and building response also. So we will use the definition method here. Under the definition, we have the seismic definition option. Click on the add and select the type according to Indian Design Code. And in this latest version of the StatPro Connect, we have the IS 1893 Part 1 2016 update. Okay, so I will pick the. So here we are getting few parameters like zone value, that is the 2, seismic behavior factor, that is the point along the x-axis, that is the 0.5, these things. Okay. So either put this value manually or you can use through the generate also. Okay. Let me check one thing. Yeah. So in my this software, I'm missing the generate key. It happens in the softwares also. In few versions, the generate key is missing here. Like if it is the IS 1893 1984, that mean I have to install this software. Actually, just I installed the software. I just updated the software before this meeting is before this meeting. That's why I'm missing the generate option. So I can explain it through this also. If you can see here in the generate option, we have different type of zone factors. So mostly this software, we can assign this zone factor value according to the cities also, or even you can select the zone factor value to the zone values also. So you know there we have total 4 types of zone 2, 3, 4 and 5, and according to these we have different type of zone factors. Like for the zone 2 we have the zone factor value 0.1, and for the 3 it is 0.16. Same point for the zone factor 4 it will be 0.24, and for the last, that is the zone 5, it will be 0.36. Okay. Then if I'm doing it for the zone 4, or you can select it according to the city also. If I want to do it for the Allahabad or Ahmedabad, then you can see it is the zone factor 3.16. And then after we have the next thing, that is the response reduction factor. So it is also known as with the name of RF, that is the response reduction factor. So it this option will this the value of the RF will depends upon the type of structure. Like if it is a steel structure with a steel structure, or it is a RC concrete structure, so according to that there will be different RF value. Like for the SMRF, that is the special moment resisting frame buildings. So for the SMRF, the value of the response reduction will be 5. For the ordinary movement resisting frame, it will be 3. And for the steel building with ordinary movement, it will be this value will also be 3. And for the confined masonry, that means we have to select our structure type. So right now for the concrete grade M25, we use the SMRC building with SMRF. That is the special movement resisting frame. That's why we will pick the RC building with special movement resisting frame, and the factor value will be 5 for this. And then next thing will be your importance factor. So if it is an ordinary building, or any other buildings, you can put the value 1. If it is an important building like school, college, or anything else, then we have to give the value 1.5. That will be the I value, that is the importance factor I. If it is important building, then the value of the I will be 1.5. Okay. After that, there is a rock and soil side factor, that is the SS factor. Okay, you can see all these value here also. So it is a SS factor. So SS means it will be, if it is 1, it is a hard soil, that is a medium soil and soft soil. So these values of SS, that will be 1, 2, will depends upon the type of. So if if the soil type is the medium soil, then we'll select it to the medium soil. Structure is a RC frame, so I will select the RC frame. It is the composite building, then we have to select the composite. Composite means combination of steel trusses plus concrete, that will be your combined composite building. And if it is a RC steel structures, just select the steel MRF building. Okay, so here we have the RC MRF building, so I will pick the RC MRF factor. This is the structure type ST. Then after damping ratio, I already explained. For the wind load, we have the damping ratio 1%, and for the seismic we have 5% value. That will be 5% means it will be 0.05. Okay, so I will put the damping ratio to 5 and click on the X. So when I was creating I'm generating it, you can see there is one more thing, that is the period in X and Z. So we can calculate the period manually also. Okay, to calculate this period manually, we have different formula according to the structure type. So like I can show you in the seismic. Let me open the IS code. So let's see this factor values. Open how to calculate these values. Let's see. Yeah. Seismic intensity according to the seismic zone. Yeah. So here you can see fundamental natural period formulas, how to calculate them. T is equal to 0.7 H at cap 0.75. It is for the RC frame building. This is for the steel frame building. And also we have a formula. Yeah, here is the how to calculate the fundamental period natural frequency. It is written T is equal to 0.09 H. I think H is missing here. In the formula, H is missing. Okay, so it will be 0.09 H divided by root D. Okay, so you can calculate the time period through this formula also. Yeah, you can see it here. It is written the H. You can see where the meaning. Now it is expressing this formula T is equal to 0.09 H divided by root T. The mean of the H, you can see H is written here. That means here it should be H. That is the missing part. So H is the height of the building. Okay, and D is the base dimension of the building. Like along the x-axis our structure was 20 meter, and along the width it was 15 meters. So to calculate the frequency along the x-axis, we have to put the value D value 20, and for the along the z-axis we have to put the D value to the 15 meter. Okay, because in my current, according to my current project, we have different D values along the X and Z. So either just calculate this manually and put it here, or let the software calculate it. That means don't put any value here. Software will calculate it and give you this period in the output. So here I'm not going to put any value. I will just answer it. So you can see zone factor, RF factor, importance factor, soil sack factor, that is the SS for the medium soil is a 2, is applied here. Then click on the add. Then after this we have to add the mass of the structure. So here first we will add the self-weight of the structure. It is according to the IS 1893-2016 code. You can see it here. We are doing it for the latest code version. So that was the software's glitch, that we are You can see it here. Now it is correct. We are seeing it is for the IS 1893 2016 version. Okay. So now see it. So first just add the cell weight. It will be along 1. Then after, don't close it. If you close it, in that condition we have to give the definition again. That means we have to give the zone factor and everything one more time. We have to define it again. So please consider, don't close it up to the point when we complete it. That means now we have to add the floor weight. So here, before applying the floor weight, I will write the values which I'm going to apply. So I'm just opening a notepad so that everyone will be able to read it very properly. So here we have two types of load cases. First one is dead. Under the dead load, we will add the floor load first. Here the floor load value is given 12 kilonewton and the roof load is given, sorry, floor load is 12 and the roof load is 10. Okay. That means in our structure at the top, we have to provide the roof load, and up to the third floor, we will apply the floor load, and at the fourth floor, we will add the roof load. Okay. So floor load is greater than the roof load because at the top floor there will be less load, or we can say the floor finishing will also be missing. But on the floor we have many different type of floor finishing like marbles, tiles, and other furnitures. That's why we add the floor load. We are adding the floor load value of the floor load 12 kilonewton, and at the roof we are adding it the 10 only. Okay. Then after the dead load, next is the live load. So under the live load, again there will be floor and roof load. So floor load is given to 4 kilonewton per meter square, and roof load is given 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So these are the values. So now I have to calculate the floor load. That means I have to calculate the mass of the floor weight due to these dead and live load. Okay. So for this, I will you can see it in your table 8 of the IS 1893 part 1 under the clause 7.3.1. When we will apply the floor weight, that means the mass of the floor in the seismic, then we have to consider the 50% part of the live load as a lumped load. That means as a dead load. That means we have to add the half of the floor and roof, half of the live load. Like if the floor load is 4 kilonewton, then we have to add this value in your floor load as a dead load. Okay, this is your table 8 of the IS 1893 part 1. Okay, you will get it in the clause 7.3.1. 50% part of the live load will work as a lump load, but there will be one more condition. If the live load is greater than or equal to 4 kilonewton, then only in that condition we have to calculate the floor load. Here in our example, we have the floor load value 4 kilonewton and the roof load value is 1.5 kilonewton. You can clearly see the floor load is equal to 4 kilonewton. That means 50% part, that means 2 kilonewton of the floor load under the live load will work as a lump load. But we have to neglect the roof load because the value of roof load is less than 4 kilonewton. अगर यहाँ पे हमारा रूफ लोड भी 4 या 4 से ज्यादा होता, then this live load of the floor will also work as a lump load. Is that clear to everyone? How to calculate these values? Okay, so let me continue. So dead load is 12, roof load is 10. Okay, so now come to the floor weight. So first I'm going to add the dead load. So the pressure is given 12 for the floor, and it will be, let me calculate the height. Here it will be 4.2 plus 3.2 plus 3.3. It will be 10.6. Okay, so it will be from 0 to 10.6 because at the top we have to add the roof load, not the floor load. Okay, so here from 0 to 10.6 we will add the 12 kilonewton value. Sorry, I have to change the range. I just write it in the X range. Just put it 0 and change it along the Y range here. Okay, so here along the Y range it is 10.6. Okay, last time it was written here define X, that's define Y, then X, then Z. So that's why I was confused. So just write it very clearly. We have to provide the range value along the Y because it is along the Y direction. So the Y range is 0 to 10.6 meter, and here at up to the 10.6 it is floor. That's why here the value is 12 kilonewton, and click on add. Then after put the pressure value to 10 this time, and it will be from 10.6 to 13.8. That is the top floor. Okay, that means here at the top the dead load of the roof is 10 kilonewton. Add. Now provide the live load, 50% part of the live load. So as you know, you are seeing we have floor load value 4 kilonewton, and 50% of the 4 kilonewton will be 2. Half of that 4 will be 2. That's why I will put it, and it will be from 0 to 10.6. Then click on add. Here we will not put the half value of the floor load, roof load. That was the 1.5 kilonewton. Yeah. So live load was live load of the roof was 1.5 kilonewton, and this value is less than 4. That's why we will not add 50% part of the live load here. Okay, only the floor load will be considered because the value of the floor load is equal to 4. Now the floor load has been defined. Now you can close it. When you close it, yeah, so definition has been assigned. Now come to the load case details. So seismic definition has been defined. So if you have any doubt up to this point, then please you can ask. Okay, so let's continue. So come to the load case detail. Here in the load case detail, we have to define the seismic load first. Then after the seismic load, we will do the dead load. We will add the dead load. If we give the dead load before the seismic, then software will give you error. Okay, so I will select the EQ seismic load, and I want to do it for the EQ axis, that is along the x-axis. So just select it and click on the add. Then next will be EQZ, mean along the z-axis. Then after this seismic load, you can add the dead load and live load also. Now come to the EQ. Again, under the earthquake load, just click on the add. So here we will add the self weight, that will be the mass along the x direction. Then after this, go to the seismic load here, x direction factor 1. Okay, then EQZ. Yeah, and go to the seismic, direction will be z, factor is 1. Now come to the dead load. So here under the dead load, this time we have to add the weight of the structure, not the mass. Okay, so under the dead load, it will be y and factor will be -1, because this is the self weight. So up to whenever we use the seismic, so under the seismic load cases, we have to give the value of the mass, that is the positive value. But whenever it comes for the dead load or live load, then we have to consider it according to the gravitational direction. Okay, so under the dead load, it will be self weight that will be assigned to the view. Now assign the dead and live load also according to these values. So under the dead load, first will be your floor load of 12 kilonewton, then second will be your roof load. So I'm going to add it, and this time we have to provide the direction also, pressure directions like -12 along the, it will be along the global y due to the gravity, and the y range here at the top, it is 0 to 10.6. 10. At the roof load, it will be at the top. Okay, so here don't need to add the 50% part of the live load, because we have the live load option here, and the 50% part was the mass of the structure that should be add in the earthquake only. Okay, so here, and for the live load, come to the LL, that is the live load, click on the add, and come to the floor load. So first it was 4 kilonewton, put the value -4 from 0 to 10.6, then -1.5 up to the 13.8 meter from 10.6 value. So that is the roof load, live roof load. Okay. Okay. So now we have to run the analysis. Come to the analysis command, add all, Then run the analysis. So we are getting one warning. This will be the UBC IBC, that is the Universal Building Code and International Building Code warning. You can see it. It is the UBC and IBC warning. That means we can neglect it according, because we are doing it according to the Indian Design Code. Now come to the result file. So first is the base year. So here base year and the time period along the x-axis, you are seeing the output here. First one is the time period along the x-axis, and it is 0.53700. Okay, you can see the time period along the x-axis. Yeah, next thing is the SA upon G, that is the response acceleration coefficient. SA upon G, so output is 2.5. Let me clear one more thing. All these values will help you to calculate the design lateral forces. So what will be the formulas and everything I will explain. Just wait. So when to use the SA upon G and where to use it, everything I will explain. So SA upon G's value is 2.5 kilonewton. Okay. Then VB, that is the base shear. Base shear values is written here, and it is calculated by this formula, that is the 0.06 multiplied by the 21,230.89. So what is the 0.06 and what is this? I will explain. The formula for the VB is equal to AH multiplied by W. Okay. The formula for the base here I can show you. Just wait. It is written. Then I can show you. Let me pen. Yeah. So this is the formula for calculating the design lateral process. So how to calculate the AK and AH, everything I will show you. Let me explain it properly. So basically the final output will be calculated by this formula, which you can see here, or you can see it in your PDF also. Let me open your PDF. Here it is. This is the formula for calculating the vertical distribution of base. This is your design lateral forces. Okay, so it is written VB is equal to WI HI square Y something. So here the VB is your base year value, and W is the seismic weight of the each floor. So I means floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. That is the I will be, I is representing the position of the floor. That's the floor first floor or second floor or third floor. That means the seismic weight of the structure up to the floor 1 or up to the floor 2. Okay, because the lateral forces will act on each floor one by one. Okay, so that's why we can calculate the lateral forces on each level of the building. That means at each floor height by using this formula, where the I will represent the floor height. Okay, if it is the first floor, then it will be according to your project height. So what will be the design lateral forces can be calculated from here. And how to calculate the VV value? So for the VV, we have a formula AH multiplied by W, where the AH is the design horizontal acceleration spectrum value. Okay, it is the horizontal acceleration spectrum. Okay, AH, and W is the seismic weight of the structure. So you can see the VB value here is calculated by this formula. Okay, now next thing is how to get the AH value. That means here we are getting this value through the software, but even you can calculate this value manually also. So how to calculate the AH value? So to solve the AH, we have the formula of the AH also. Let me show you the AH formula. AH is equal to let me say Z by 2 I by R multiply by SA upon G. This will be the formula. So let me search it where it is written. The formula for the AH will be Z by I So z by 2 multiply by I by r multiply by SA upon g. SA upon g is calculated by the software. Z will be the zone factor, I will be the importance factor, R will be your response reduction factor. Okay, so this will the formula. Even you can calculate it manual also. Okay, or you can calculate it through the software also. So we already get the AH output. Yeah, here it is. The AH is equal to Z by 2 multiplied by I by R multiplied by SA upon G. Okay, so this is the manual procedure, manual formula to calculate it. But you can see the software already calculate the VB value, and it is given the AH value also. Here the AH value is 0.06 and VB is equal to 1273. Okay, so all these value will then be placed to calculate the design lateral forces through the QI is equal to VB multiplied by WI HI square divided by, you can see it here, आज तो मैंने आपको पहले दिखाया हुआ है. Let me open it one more time. Where it is? Yeah, here it is. So you can calculate it manually also. Okay, so now come to the software output one more time. As it was for along the x-axis, same you will get the data base here for the z-axis also, SA upon z, and each values for the z-axis also. Then and calculate it. Now so, and even we can see the success response and everything through the values also. So up to this point, do you want to ask any question? Do you have any doubt? Then please ask. You can type your question in the chat box also. Let me check it. So let's check the output for the story drift also, and most probably the structure will fail. So then I will, we can change. Yeah, we are getting the 9 warnings for the story drift. That means we have to increase the drift size. So it is okay. So for the story drift, first thing will be add the flow load. Oh, sorry, flow diaphragm. So let me check, change the few values like 0.5, change it, yes, and for this going to change it to the 4.45. Analyze it. Yeah, yeah, we have to add the flow diaphragm first. Okay, so up to this point, do you have any doubt? Please ask. Okay, so if you don't have any doubt, then I think we can conclude today's session here. Yeah, so it will be same as it was for the other load cases. So आप उसको वैसे ही कर सकते हैं, but sometimes for the load envelopes we have to select these combinations according to that. Like if you want to check it for the, if you want to create the strength envelope, or you want to create the uh, let me show you in the software, then it will be very clear. Come to the loading. So here for the load case details, auto load combinations according to the IS456 code, just generate them. So you can see there are different type of load cases combinations, so you will get it. And now if you want to create the load envelopes according to that, like we can select the node envelope according to the serviceability check and for the strength check. So according to the strength check and serviceability check, we have two different values. Like for the strength check, we have to add all the combinations which have more than which have the combination factor more than one, like 1, 1.5, 1.2. These type of load cases will be considered for the strength check, and less than 1.5 means zero point 0.9. These value will consider for the serviceability check. So that is the load envelope. In tomorrow's RC response spectrum method, I will open one of my project which I completed. In that particular project, I will show you the service and distance check envelope and flow diaphragm and story drift check. Even I will show you the uh, stiffness check also. Okay, that we will just soft story check also. So this flow diaphragm will help you to calculate the soft story check also. Okay, so what is the condition of soft story? I can show you when an example here. Just wait. Soft story. When more than 50% part of the structure is of base structure is not covered by the, is not supported by the wall, in that condition sometimes our structure will fail, like this. You can see it in this image. So this we can see here the soft story is occur. Okay, so mostly in the flat system, you know that we create the parking at the bottom, and if we don't provide the shear wall here or base wall here, in that condition some our structure may be failed due to the soft story. So to avoid this type of to check this type of structure failure, we use the floor diaphragm also. Okay, so in the next session, that will be on tomorrow session, I will show you the soft story check and all. Okay, then okay, we have a very short times. Let me explain. Okay, so I will explain for this. I can explain from where we can add it, but how to perform analysis, that will be your practice work. So to create the shear wall, that means the wall which is which contains the reinforcement should be created through the parametric model. Here we have the parametric model. Then after, click on the add. Then here you have to select the type of structure like wall or slab. So this wall will be your shear wall. Then after, you have to select the position where you want to add this shear wall. Like if I want to create the shear wall here, then you have to select it, and how you are uh, going to mesh it, you have to select the meshing type and all these values. So this will be your shear wall. You can see it when I click on the complete structure. Okay, so that is the shear wall at this point. So this is the procedure of creating the shear wall. Then after that, you have to add the load, and even when we do the concrete design, then we have to pick the Indian design code. So we will get the reinforcement details in the output for the shear wall also. Okay, so I can only explain you how to add it, but you have to do it manually. You have to do it by yourself. Okay, you can contact me later also for any clarification regarding anything, because in a short time, in a 4 days time period, we can't complete all the topics of the stat pro, because here we have also have a retaining wall option, a swimming pool type of structure. There are many such as like spiral stairs, flight stairs, RCDC, state foundation. There are many topics. Okay, so hopefully when we will get the another chance for any other software like stat pro or RCDC, then I will explain all more details also, not the all projects, because it is very tough to define everything in 2 or 3 days.